Exercise 3.1. Classify each of them. First is simple curve. Simple curve means is a curve that does not cross itself. Then simple closed curve. Simple closed curve, the shapes are closed by line segments or by a curved line. So here we can see simple curve 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. That these are already closed, so we can include in the second part simple closed curves 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Then polygon. Polygon means a closed curve made up of with line segments, only with line segments. Here 1 and 2. Convex polygon 2. Concave polygon, first one. Concave polygon that contains at least one of the angle is more than 180 degree and the diagonal is, you can see here outside. If we are joining these 2 points, we can see the diagonal is coming outside the figure. So that is concave. Second question, what is a regular polygon? A polygon with equal sides and equal angles, then we can say that is regular polygon, and state the name of the regular polygon of 3 sides, equilateral triangle. 4 sides, that is square, and 6 sides, regular hexagon. So we can see that the simple curve is a curve that does not cross itself. In simple closed curves, the shapes are closed by line segments or by a curved line. A curve that starts and ends at the same point without crossing. Here we can see in this figure, it's crossing here. The lines are crossing, so that is not simple closed curve. And here the starting and ending point is not same. This one also the same way. Find x of the following figures. Here 125, 125 and x. We know that sum of the measures of the external angles of any polygon is 360. Sum of all the exterior angles, external angles of any polygon, that will be always 360. So the first case. Here 125, 125 and x. So we can write 125 degree plus 125 degree plus x is equal to 360. That is 250 plus x is equal to 360 degree, which implies x is equal to 360 degree minus 250 is equal to 110 degree. Second one, here 60 degree, 90 degree, 70 degree, x 90 degree. Sum of all the exterior angle is equal to 360 degree. Sum of all the external angles always of any polygon, 3 side, 4 side or any polygon, always that will be 360 degree. So we can compare 60 degree plus 90 degree plus 70 degree plus x plus 90 degree. Here this also 90 degree, the other side. So 90 degree is equal to 360. That is 310 plus x is equal to 360 degree, which means x is equal to 360 minus 310, 50 degree. Second question, find the measure of each exterior angle of a regular polygon. We know that each exterior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 360 divided by number of sides. If n sides, then it will become 360 divided by n. Here 9 sides, So each exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by 9, and in this case 360 divided by 15. Here we can see each exterior angle of a regular polygon of n sides we can write that as 360 by n. So here 9 sides. So each exterior angle is equal to exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by 9. 360 divided by 9. We will get 40. So each angle, exterior angle will be 40 degree. Second case, there are 15 sides. There also each exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by 15. 360 divided by number of sides. Here 15 sides, so 360 divided by 15 is equal to 24. So 24 degree. Third question, how many sides does a regular polygon have if the measure of an exterior angle is 24 degree? If the exterior angle is 24 degree, then how many sides have that regular polygon? Now, number of sides of a regular polygon is equal to 360 divided by exterior angle. 360 divided by exterior angle. Here it is given 360 divided by exterior angle as 24. So 360 divided by 24 we will get that as 15. So number of sides is equal to 15. Number of sides for that regular polygon is equal to 15. Question number 4. How many sides does a regular polygon have if each of its interior angle is 165 degree? We know that interior angle and exterior angle forms a linear pair. That means 180 degree. Is the inside angle, interior angle, outside angle, that is exterior angle, both together or sum of interior and exterior, that will come 180 degree as a linear pair. Here interior angle is given. So we can write interior angle is equal to 165 degree. Then exterior angle. Exterior angle is equal to interior plus exterior is equal to 180. So interior is 165. This is an example only. We don't know how many sides. We are going to find in this regular polygon how many sides. Now 180 in exterior angle is equal to 180 minus 165 is equal to 15 degree. Now we got exterior angle. If we know exterior angle, then we can find number of sides. Number of sides for that polygon is equal to sum of all exterior angles divided by exterior angle. That means 360 divided by the given exterior angle, or from the question here 360 divided by 15. When we are dividing, we are getting 24. So number of sides is equal to 24 sides for this regular polygon. This is the formula, the sum of all the exterior angles divided by one of the exterior angle. That means 360 divided by 15 is equal to 24. So 24 sides for that regular polygon. Fifth question, is it possible to have a regular polygon with measure of each exterior angle as 22? Is it possible or not? Exterior angle is 22. So we know that number of sides is equal to 360 divided by exterior angle. Number of sides is equal to 360 means sum of all the exterior angles that divided by the given exterior or one of the exterior angles, that is 22. When we are dividing 360 by 22, we are getting 16.36. Now we can see number of sides cannot be a decimal. It's not a whole number. So our question is it possible? We can write no, it is not possible to have a regular polygon with measure of each exterior angle as 22 degree. Or in other words, we can write no, we can have a regular polygon with each of the exterior angle as 22 degree, as it is not a divisor of 360. Not a divisor of 360 means when we are dividing 360 by 22, we are getting in the decimal form, not getting a whole number. So we cannot form a regular polygon with the 22 degree as the exterior angle. Second part, can it be an interior angle of a regular polygon? This 22 degree, can it be a interior angle of a regular polygon? So interior angle if we are taking 22 as interior angle, then what will be the exterior angle? Exterior angle is equal to 180 minus 22. We know that interior angle plus exterior angle is equal to 180 degree, linear pair. So 180 minus 22, 158. Then number of sides. When you are looking the number of sides, 360 by 158. There also will not get a whole number. So we can write it is not possible because of it is not a divisor of 360. Or we cannot completely divide 360 by 158. When we are dividing, we will not get a whole number. So it is not possible. 158 is not a divisor of 360, so it is not possible. Question number 6. What is the minimum interior angle possible for a regular polygon? The minimum interior angle possible in the case of equilateral triangle. Triangle is the smallest polygon, and if it becomes equilateral, all three sides are equal and all three angles are equal, then each of the angle will be 60 degree. We know that angle by angle sum property, sum of all three angles is equal to 180 degree, and 180 divided by 3, each angle is 60 degree. So we can write the minimum interior angle possible for a regular polygon is 60 degree. Now what is the maximum exterior angle possible for a regular polygon? The minimum interior angle possible, that is 360 divided by 3, 60 degree by angle sum property. Then the maximum exterior angle possible. Maximum exterior angle possible for a regular polygon. Is equal to 180 minus 60. Is equal to 120 degree. We know that the interior angle, that is 60 degree, then the exterior angle, this is a linear pair. So exterior angle, it will become 180 minus 60, so it will become 120. So the maximum exterior angle possible for the regular polygon, that is 120 degree. Given a parallelogram ABCD. Complete each statement along with the definition or property used. First one, AD is equal to dash. AD means this side. These two sides, opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. So we can write AD is equal to BC. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. Second one, angle DCB. DCB, this angle, which is equal to angle DAB. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Third one, OC is equal to, OC means from here to here. OC is equal to OA. OC is equal to OA. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Bisecting, equally dividing. So OC is equal to OA. Fourth one, measurement of angle DAB. DAB, this angle, plus measurement of CDA. CDA, the middle letter representing angle. Angle D, angle A. So sum of these two angles, these are adjacent angles. So sum of these two angles are supplementary, 180 degree. Adjacent angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. These two are adjacent angles. So the sum of these two angle measures, it will become 180 degree. Second question, consider the following parallelograms. Find the values of the unknowns x, y, z. First figure, this angle is given as 100 degree. Then y will be the opposite angle. So we can write angle y is equal to, or y is equal to 100 degree. What is the reason? Opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. Y is equal to 100 degree. Then Z. Z is equal to, these two angles are supplementary, adjacent angles. Adjacent angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. So we can write Z is equal to 180 minus 100 is equal to 80. Reason is adjacent angles are supplementary. Then x and z are opposite angles. Now we can write x is equal to z itself is equal to, already we got z as 80. So 80 degree. X and z are opposite angles. So opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. So given in the question, it's a parallelogram. So we can apply all the properties of parallelogram. First is opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Then adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. So Z is equal to 180 minus 100, 80 degree. And then X is equal to 80 degree. Opposite angles are equal. Now second one. Here this angle is 50 degree. We can write X. X is equal to 180 minus 50 is equal to 130 degree. Reason is adjacent angles. Adjacent angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. So x is equal to 130 degree. If x is 130 degree, y also will be the same. Opposite angles are equal. Y is equal to, x is equal to same angle, 130 degree. Reason, opposite angles are equal. Then Z. Z is equal to x, which is equal to 130 degree. What is the reason? These are corresponding angles. When two parallel lines and the transversal, these two angles are coming corresponding way. So corresponding angles are equal. third figure. Here it is given this angle as 90 degree. Then X also will be 90 degree. These two angles are vertically opposite angles. So we can write X is equal to 90 degree vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are equal. So X is equal to 90 degree. Now we are going to consider this triangle. In this triangle, we can write X plus Y plus this angle 30 is equal to 180 degree by angle sum property. Angle sum property of a triangle, sum of all three angles is equal to 180 degree. So already we know X as 90 degree. So we can replace that 90 plus Y plus 30 is equal to 180 degree, which implies Y plus 90 plus 30, 120 is equal to 180 degree. That means Y is equal to 180 minus 120 is equal to 60 degree. Now we got that is Y is equal to 60 degree. X is 90, Y is 60 degree. Now Z is equal to same as Y. Z is equal to Y is equal to 60 degree. What is the reason? Alternate interior angles are equal, alternate angles. You can see these two lines are parallel and is the transversal. So Y is this angle and the other side of the transversal. So alternate interior angles, and Y is equal to Z, which is equal to 60 degree. Reason is alternate interior angles are equal. So we can write alternate angles. Now fourth diagram, where we can see Y is equal to 80 degree opposite angles. Opposite angles. Then X is equal to X and these two angles are adjacent angles. So these angles are supplementary. So we can write X is equal to 180 minus 80. That means 100 degree. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Then Z and 80, these two are corresponding angles. You can see these two are parallel lines. This is the transversal. So these two angles are corresponding angles. So Z is equal to 80 degree. Reason is corresponding angles. So first we got Y is equal to 80, opposite angles are equal. Then X means these two are adjacent angles. So X is equal to 180 minus 80. This will become 100. Z and this angle, these two angles are corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are equal. Z also is equal to 80. Fifth figure. Here Y is equal to 112. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Then in this triangle, we know that Y plus 40 plus X is equal to 180 degree in this triangle. So we can write from here 40 plus Y plus X is equal to 180 degree angle sum property. Angle sum property. all the three angles in a triangle, sum of all the three angles is equal to 180 degree, angle sum property. Now from here y we can replace, that is 112 plus x is equal to 180 degree, which implies 152 plus x is equal to 180. That means x is equal to 180 minus 152 is equal to 28 degree. That means x is equal to 28 degree. Then x is equal to z. We can write z is equal to x is equal to 28 degree. What is the reason? Alternate angles. Alternate angles. These two angles is the parallel lines, and the transversal. We can see these two angles are the opposite side, alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal, so we can write the reason, that is alternate angles. So first we got the angle y is equal to 112. Opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. Then in this triangle, 40 degree plus y plus x is equal to 180 by angle sum property. So angle x we will get from there 28 degree. Then x and z are equal because alternate angles are equal. Third question, can a quadrilateral ABCD be a parallelogram if angle D plus angle B is equal to 180 degree? To check this ABCD is a parallelogram, we have to go through the properties of parallelogram. In parallelogram, opposite angles are equal, should be equal. Here it is given angle D plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. It can be any measure then. If one is 100 degree, the other one it is 80 degree, is not saying equal. Only one condition, if both the angles are 90, we can write 90 degree plus 90 degree. Then it will become 180 degree, and opposite angles are equal. In this case, angle D plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. This is only one case. And to become this as a, to make this as a parallelogram, again adjacent angles supposed to be supplementary. So that condition also to fulfill or to satisfy, then only we can say this is a parallelogram. So we can write ABCD is a parallelogram if it is following these two conditions. Adjacent angles are supplementary. This should be supplementary, and opposite angle should be the same measure. Then only it will become parallelogram. Therefore, we can write ABCD can be, but need not be a parallelogram. Not necessary. If it is on 90 degree both, then it can be. And after that, the rest of the measures also according to that, then we can say it can be, but not necessary always. It only because of this condition, ABCD is a parallelogram. So ABCD can be, but need not be a parallelogram. Now second figure, here it is given AB is equal to DC is equal to 8 centimeter. AB 8 centimeter, same as opposite side DC, that also is equal to 8 centimeter. This side. Again AD 4 centimeter. AD 4 centimeter, BC 4.4 centimeter. These two sides, opposite sides are equal, but here opposite sides are not equal. So we can write here AD not equal to BC, which means opposite sides are not equal. We know that in the case of parallelogram, opposite sides should be equal. In this case, opposite sides are not equal. Therefore, ABCD is not a parallelogram. Third one, angle A is 70 degree, angle C is 65 degree. So we can see here angle A 70 degree, C 65 degree. Opposite sides are not, opposite angles are not equal. So we can write angle A not equal to angle C. Here also opposite angles are not equal. Therefore, ABCD is not a parallelogram. Fourth question, draw a rough figure of a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means any four-sided figure that is not a parallelogram but has exactly two opposite angles of equal measure. We can see is the form of a kite. Here angle B is equal to angle D. Exactly one pair opposite angles. Angle B is equal to angle D. So a quadrilateral, two opposite angles of equal measure, and it is not a parallelogram. Sides are not equal, so it is not a parallelogram. So an example for the that question, rough figure of a quadrilateral that is not a parallelogram but has exactly two opposite angles of equal measure. That could be kite. Question number 5. The measures of two adjacent angles of a parallelogram are in the ratio 3:2. Ratio is 3:2. Then find the measures of each of the angles of the parallelogram. So first we can take, when we are getting the ratio, we can take that as let the adjacent angles be. Here it is given two adjacent angles of a parallelogram are 3:2. So we can take let the adjacent angles be 3x and 2x. We can take this as 3x and this angle as 2x. So let the adjacent angles be 3x and 2x. Now we know that 3x plus 2x is equal to 180 degree. What is the reason? Adjacent angles are supplementary. Here it is given, say parallelogram. So we can apply that property. Adjacent angles are supplementary. So we can write 3x adjacent angles, angle A plus angle B. That means 3x plus 2x is equal to 180 degree. That we can write as 5x is equal to 180 degree, which implies x is equal to 180 divided by 5. We will get that as 36. X is equal to 36 degree. Then angle A. Angle A is equal to 3x. So 3x, which means 3 into value of x, 36. 3 into 36 is equal to 108 degree. Then angle B. Angle B is equal to 2x is equal to 2 into 36 is equal to 72 degree. Now we know that angle A is same as angle C, which is equal to angle C. Opposite sides are equal. Angle B and angle D are equal. Angle B is 72, then angle D also 72 degree. Here the question, measure each of the, find the measures of each of the angles of a parallelogram. So we can write, therefore, the angles of a parallelogram are 108 degree, comma, then 72 degree, again 108 degree and 72 degree. 108, 72, 108, 72. These are the measures of that parallelogram. Question number 6. Two adjacent angles of a parallelogram have equal measures. Two adjacent angles of a parallelogram have equal measures. We can take A, B, C, D. We can write that let A, B, C, D be a parallelogram. Let A, B, C, D be a parallelogram. And here given have equal measures. Adjacent angles of a parallelogram have equal measures. So we can write with angle A is equal to angle B. These two angles, two adjacent angles of a parallelogram have equal measures. So angle A is equal to angle B. Then find the measures of each of the angles of the parallelogram. Now we know that angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. In a parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary, or sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree. So we can write angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Already it's given that both the angles are equal. So we can replace, that is angle A plus, in place of B we can write angle A itself because both are same or equal in measure. So angle A is equal to 180 degree, that is 2 times angle A is equal to 180 degree, which implies angle A is equal to 180 divided by 2 is equal to 90 degree. So we got angle A is equal to 90 degree in 1. Question number 1 is A is equal to angle A is equal to angle B, and that is equal to 90 degree. Now we know that if this angle is 90 degree, in the case of parallelogram, opposite side angle also will be same 90 degree. So we can write that is equal to angle C. Again, this is 90 degree, opposite angle is equal to angle D. That means A, B, C, D, all four angles with the same measure. So we can write here all angles are 90 degree. That is all angles 90 degree. If all angles are 90 degree, that quadrilateral will be a square or rectangle. It's the form of rectangle. Question number 7. To find angle measures of X, Y, Z. We can write Y is equal to 40 degree. Y is equal to 40 degree. Alternate angles. This side, this angle, and the other side of the transversal. So alternate interior angles are equal. Y is equal to 40 degree. Alternate angles are equal. That's the reason. Now we got Y. Then these two, angle H or 40 plus Z is equal to 70 degree. The reason is corresponding angles. These two angles are corresponding angles. Same side, corresponding way. So corresponding angles. 40 plus Z, this full angle, is equal to 70 degree. That means Z is equal to 70 degree minus 40. It will become 30 degree. Now we got Z also. Next, we know that this angle is 70 degree. Then HOP, angle HOP, that means this angle. That will be 180. This is the linear pair. So 180 minus 70, which is equal to 110. So it will be 110. Reason is linear pair. So if this angle is 110, then directly we can write x is equal to 110. Opposite angles are equal. So x is equal to 110. This 110 we are getting from linear pair. 70 plus 110 is equal to 180, or 180 minus 70 is equal to 110. Here y may alternate angles. So y is equal to 40. 40 plus z is equal to 70. So z is equal to 30. Question number 8. The following figures, guns and runs, are parallelograms. Find x and y. Here GS is equal to UN. Opposite sides are equal. So we can write 3x is equal to 18. That is 3x is equal to 18, which implies x is equal to 18 by 3 is equal to 6. Same way here, GU is equal to SN. Here also same reason, opposite sides are equal. That means GU 3y minus 1. 3y minus 1 is equal to 26. 3y is equal to 26 plus 1 minus 1 when you are moving to the other side, plus 1 is equal to 27. That means y is equal to 27 divided by 3, 9. So we can write x is equal to 6 centimeter. Lengths are given in centimeter, so we can write 6 centimeter, and y is equal to 9 centimeter. Second figure, runs, RUNS. Here the intersecting point of the diagonals, we can mark that as O. So we know that diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Here this side x plus y is equal to 16. Here y plus 7 is equal to 20. We can take with one variable this side first. That means OU is equal to OS. The reason is diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So we can write the distance or the length from here, or from the center or intersecting point O to U. OU is equal to OS. That is y plus 7. OU is y plus 7. This side is 20. So y is equal to 20 minus 7 is equal to 13. Then the same way the other diagonal. ON is equal to OR. ON is equal to OR. Same reason. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect. So here x plus y is equal to 16. Y already we got that as 13. So we can replace x plus 13 is equal to 16, which implies x is equal to 16 minus 13. When you are changing this 13 to the other side, it will become minus 13. 16 minus 13, 3. Now we can write x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 13. Question number 9. Figure is given. In the above figure, risk and clue are parallelograms. Find the value of x. Here we can see risk, R-I-S-K. That means from here, R-I-S-K. This is a parallelogram. You can mark this point as O. So R-I, here it is given risk, R-I-S-K. It's a parallelogram. And we can mark this angle. Here this we marked already x. We are going to find x. This angle we can mark as 1. This as 2. Here in this parallelogram, risk, here we can see angle 1 and 120. These two angles are supplementary. These two angles are supplementary because adjacent angles. In parallelogram risk, angle 1 plus 120 degree is equal to 180. That means adjacent angles are supplementary. So we can write that as 180 degree, which means angle 1 is equal to 180 minus 120. That is angle 1 is equal to 60 degree. Now we got this angle as 60 degree. Next one it is coming this parallelogram. Clue. In clue, we can see angle 2 and this 70 degree are opposite angles. Angle E, this angle and these two are opposite angles. So we can write angle 2 is equal to 70 degree. Reason is opposite angles are equal. So we got angle 2 is equal to 70 degree. Now in this triangle we are going to consider triangle. We can take EOS. Triangle EOS. In this triangle we know that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus x is equal to 180 degree. Angle sum property. Sum of all three angles in a triangle is always 180 degree. Now we got angle 1 as 60 degree plus angle 2 as 70 degree plus x is equal to 180. That means 60 plus 70, 130 plus x is equal to 180 degree. That is x is equal to 180 minus 130 is equal to 50 degree. Now we got x is equal to 50 degree. The question just to find the value of x. Question number 10. Explain how this figure is a trapezium. Which of the two sides are parallel? Here we can see this angle L is equal to 80 degree and M is equal to 100 degree. That's given. So we can write angle L plus angle M. L plus M is equal to 80 plus 100 is equal to 180 degree. That means sum of the adjacent angles on the same side of the transversal. If ML is a transversal, then sum of the adjacent angles of the same side of the transversal are supplementary. We know that sum will be equal to 180 degree. So we already got this as 180 degree, which means we can write the reason: sum of the adjacent angles on the same side of a transversal is 180 degree. We got sum of these two angles as 180 degree, which means we can write these two lines are parallel. If the adjacent angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So we can write KL parallel to NM, which implies KLMN is a trapezium. One pair of parallel lines in a quadrilateral, then we can say that is a trapezium. First we check the adjacent sides of the adjacent angles, then that is equal to 180 degree. If the adjacent angles is equal to 180, that means the line, when the transversal cuts the parallel lines only, we will get the sum of the adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree. So here we got that as 180 degree, which means these two lines are parallel. If one pair of parallel lines are there, then we can say this is a trapezium. Question number 11. Find measurement of angle C. This angle. Angle C in figure 3.27. If AB parallel to DC, AB parallel to DC, these two lines are parallel, then find angle C. We know that if two lines are parallel, then this is the transversal. Sum of the adjacent angles the same side of the transversal are supplementary. That means angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. So we can do that. The figure is here. Angle B, here this one angle C. So we can write first angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. The reason is angles on the same side of transversal. Angles on the same side of the transversal. Transversal, this is the line transversal, and angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. These angles on the same side of the transversal. That means angle B is 120 degree. 120 degree plus angle C is equal to 180. Angle C is equal to 180 minus 120 is equal to 60 degree. That is angle C is equal to 60 degree. Here find measurement of angle C. Angle C is equal to 60 degree. Question number 12. Find the measure of angle P. Measure of angle P and angle S. If SP parallel to RQ, SP parallel to RQ, these two lines are parallel. Then find angle P and angle S. We can see here these two lines are parallel. Then angle P plus angle Q is equal to 180 degree. We can write that angle P plus angle Q is equal to 180 degree. Reason is angles on the same side of a transversal. These two are parallel and this is the transversal. The same side of the transversal. Angles on the same side of transversal. That is angle P plus angle Q, already it's given 130. is equal to 180 degree. Angle P is equal to 180 minus 130 is equal to 50 degree. Now we got angle P as 50 degree. Same way S and R. We can write angle R plus angle S is equal to 180 degree. Same reason. There also these two lines are parallel and SR, that is the transversal. So we can write angles on the same side of transversal. Angles on the same side of transversal. That is, here angle R is 90 degree plus angle S is equal to 180 degree. That is, angle S is equal to 180 minus 90 is equal to 90 degree. We can write, therefore, angle P is equal to 50 degree and angle S is equal to 90 degree. State whether true or false. All rectangles are squares. We know that is false. All rectangles are not squares, but squares are rectangles. Rectangle means we know that the opposite sides, only the opposite sides are equal. But in the case of square, all four sides are equal. So all rectangles are squares means that's false. But all squares are rectangles. B. All rhombuses are parallelograms. That is true. Rhombus is having all the properties of parallelograms. So all rhombuses are parallelograms. C. All squares are rhombuses and also rectangles. Squares are rhombuses. Rhombus also having this equal sides. Sides are equal. D. All squares are not parallelograms. That is false. All squares are parallelograms. Here it is given not. That's why it is becoming false. All squares are parallelograms. We know the squares opposite sides of a square are parallel and equal. So that will come as parallelograms. Next, E. All kites are rhombuses. That also false. We know the kite length of the sides of a kite are not equal, but rhombus means all sides are equal. So length of the sides of the kites are not equal. So that statement is wrong. F. All rhombuses are kites. That can be true. All parallelograms are trapeziums. That also true. Parallelogram means two pair of parallel sides. Trapezium needs only one pair. So parallelograms are trapeziums. H. All squares are trapeziums. That also true. Squares means all sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. So trapezium needs only one pair of parallel sides. So that also true. Second question. Identify all the quadrilaterals that have four sides of equal length. Four sides of equal length. We know that rhombus having all the four sides are equal length and also square is having. So that example we can write rhombus and square. Rhombus and square. B. 4 right angles. A quadrilateral with all 4 right angles, that is 90 degree. 4 right angles. Square and rectangle. Both having 90 degree. Right angle, each angle is right angle, 90 degree. So, quadrilateral with 4 right angles, that is square and rectangle. 4 sides equal, that's rhombus and square. Third question, explain how a square is quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus and rectangle. We know that square means all 4 sides are equal and it's a 4-sided figure. So we can say it is a quadrilateral. Reason, we can write square has 4 sides. Square has 4 sides. So it is a quadrilateral. It is a quadrilateral. Then how it is becoming a parallelogram? A square has its opposite sides are parallel. These two sides are parallel, the same way the other two sides. So we can write its opposite sides are parallel, therefore that will become a parallelogram. A square has its opposite sides parallel. So it is a parallelogram. Then rhombus. Square is already a parallelogram with all sides are equal. So we can say that is rhombus. Square is a parallelogram with all 4 sides equal. So it is a rhombus. Rhombus means all sides are equal. Square, already all sides are equal and it's already a parallelogram with all 4 sides equal. So we can write it is a rhombus. Next, rectangle. Square is a parallelogram with each angle is right angle 90 degree. So it is a rectangle. Each angle is 90 degree, so that is a rectangle. Here all 4 sides are equal and square is a parallelogram also, so it's a rhombus. Next, parallelogram means opposite sides are parallel, so we can say square is a parallelogram. 4-sided figure, so we can say square is a quadrilateral. Question number 4. Name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect. Bisect means equally dividing. You know that parallelogram, parallelograms, diagonals bisecting each other. Same way, rhombus, square and rectangle. Second, name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Perpendicular bisectors means 90-degree angle in between when the diagonals bisecting. The angles is becoming right angle. That's square and rhombus. Here diagonals are equal. In the case of square and rectangle having equal length, the diagonals. So square and rectangle have diagonals of square and rectangles having equal length. Fifth question, explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Rectangle we know that the measure of each angle is less than 180 degree. So all angles are less than 180 degree, and also its diagonals. These are the diagonals. Diagonals completely inside the rectangle. So we can say this is a convex quadrilateral. Two conditions, all angles are less than 180 degree and its diagonals are interior inside the rectangle itself. So we can write a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral because the measure of each angle is less than 180 degree and both the diagonals lie inside the rectangle. Both the diagonals lie inside the rectangle. Therefore, we can say the rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Question number 6. ABC is a right angle triangle and O is the midpoint of this side opposite to the right angle. Explain why O is equidistant from A, B and C. Here we are going to extend this OB to OD. So extend OB or reduce OB to D. From here BO to D. Such that BO is equal to OD. BO, the length of BO is equal to OD such a way that we have to extend this BO till this point D. Now we are getting OB is equal to OD. Then join CD and AD. Here we will get a rectangle. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. So here we are getting a rectangle. Then we will get ABCD as a rectangle. Now we know that in the case of rectangle, diagonals are equal. So we can write AC is equal to BD. Diagonals are equal. Then again, already we know that OB is equal to OD. Our construction or extended this length of their diagonal according to that. OB is equal to OD. So we can write from here the same way. OA is equal to OC. Diagonals of a rectangle are equal and bisecting each other. So we can write AC as OA equal to OC. OA is equal to OC and BD also we can take, that is equal to OB is equal to OD. The reason is diagonals of a rectangle are equal and bisect each other. bisect each other. That means OB is equal to OD bisecting. These diagonals are equal. AC is equal to BD. AC is one of the diagonal. BD is the second diagonal. So AC is equal to BD. Again, OB is bisecting. Diagonals bisecting each other. So OB is equal to OD. OA is equal to OC. Therefore, we can write OA is equal to OB is equal to OC. OA is equal to OB is equal to OC. Now we are getting O is equidistant, not the midpoint, equidistant. According to the question, explain why O is equidistant from ABC. So we can write O is equidistant from A, B and C. From A, B and C. O is equidistant from A, B and C. That's the question. O is the midpoint of the diagonal, but at the same time, according to the question, explain why O is equidistant from A, B and C. So last we can write, therefore O is equidistant from A, B and C.